Joe Pesci.
Joseph Frank Joe Pesci is an American actor, comedian and musician, known for playing tough, volatile characters, in a variety of genres. He is best known for a trio of films he co-starred in with Robert De Niro, directed by Martin Scorsese, Raging Bull, Goodfellas and Casino. Pesci was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his role in Raging Bull, and then won the same award for his role as the psychopathic mobster Tommy DeVito in Goodfellas. Pesci has starred in a number of other high-profile films, including Once Upon a Time in America, My Cousin Vinny, JFK, Home Alone 2, A Bronx Tale and the Lethal Weapon series. He announced his retirement from acting in 1999, and since then he has appeared only sporadically in films.
Early life.
Pesci was born on February 9, 1943, in Newark, New Jersey. His mother, Mary, née Mess, worked part-time as a barber, and his father, Angelo Pesci, was a forklift driver for General Motors, and a bartender. Pesci, of Italian descent, was raised in Belleville, New Jersey, and attended Belleville High School. By the time Pesci was 5 years old, he was appearing in plays in New York. At age 10, he was a regular on a television variety show called Startime Kids, which also featured Connie Francis.
Early career.
In the 1960s, Pesci began working as a barber, following in his mother's footsteps. At the same time, he tried to start a musical career, playing guitar with several bands, including Joey D and the Starlitters. The position of guitarist in that band was taken several years later by Jimi Hendrix. In 1968, he released the album Little Joe Sure Can Sing, billed as Joe Ritchie, on which he sang covers of contemporary pop hits. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, Pesci teamed up with fellow actor Frank Vincent, performing in local clubs like the Arlington Lounge and other venues around northern New Jersey as Vincent and Pesci. The comedy duo's material was a play on Martin and Lewis and Abbott and Costello. In 1975, they appeared in the Broadway show The New Vaudevillians, which only lasted 1 week. The first film Pesci starred in was the 1976 low-budget crime film The Death Collector alongside Frank Vincent. After the film, Pesci returned to run his restaurant, Amici's, in the Bronx.
Acting career.
In 1979, Pesci got a telephone call from Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro, who were impressed with his performance in The Death Collector and asked him to co-star in a Scorsese's Raging Bull as Joey LaMotta. Pesci won the BAFTA Film Award for Newcomer to Leading Film Roles in 1981 and was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Over the next few years, Pesci appeared in several smaller films, including Dear Mr. Wonderful, 1982, Easy Money, 1983, and Eureka, 1983. In 1984, he was cast in Once Upon a Time in America, again appearing alongside De Niro. In 1985, he starred as private detective Rocky Nelson in the short-lived television comedy series Half Nelson. In 1988, Pesci co-starred with pop singer Michael Jackson in the musical fantasy film Moonwalker, appearing as the film's antagonist, Frankie Mr. Big Lee Dio, an anagram for one of the film's producers and longtime Jackson manager Frank D. Leo. Pesci was featured in the film's fifth and final segment, a short movie called Smooth Criminal, based on Jackson's song of the same name. He appeared as Leo Jays in the Lethal Weapon sequels, released in 1989, 1992 and 1998. In 1990, he reunited with Scorsese and De Niro for Goodfellas, where he played mobster Tommy DeVito, based on real-life mobster Thomas DeSimone. Pesci received the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for the role, which he accepted with the shortest speech in Oscar history, saying simply, "It's my privilege. Thank you," before leaving the stage. Coincidentally, or perhaps as an homage, Tommy DeVito is also the actual name of Pesci's old acquaintance from Belleville, New Jersey, the real-life Four Seasons band founder Tommy DeVito, noted below. Old friend Frank Vincent also appears in the film. Pesci also co-starred in the blockbuster Home Alone in 1990, playing Harry Lime, one of two bumbling burglars, along with good friend Daniel Stern, who attempt to burglarize the house of the young character played by Macaulay Culkin. 2 years later, Pesci reprised his role in the sequel Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Pesci played David Ferrie in 1991's JFK. In 1992 he appeared as the title character in the comedy My Cousin Vinny. Pesci hosted sketch comedy show Saturday Night Live on October 10, 1992, while doing publicity for My Cousin Vinny. During his monologue, he restored a picture of Pope John Paul II, which had been torn by Sinead O'Connor on the previous broadcast. He then tore up a photo of O'Connor, which was met with huge applause. Pesci had a small role in 1993's A Bronx Tale. In 1995, Pesci had his third and so far final collaboration with Scorsese and De Niro in the film Casino, playing Nicky Santoro, based on real-life mob enforcer Anthony Spilotro. He was the original choice to play Myron Larrabee, the stressed-out postman in Jingle All the Way opposite Arnold Schwarzenegger in 1996, but the part was ultimately given to Sinbad, whose physical size was more comparable to Schwarzenegger's. He had starring roles in several other films including Man on Fire, 1987, The Super, 1991, Jimmy Hollywood, 1994, With Honors, also 1994, and Gone Fishing, 1997.
Other work and retirement from acting.
In 1998, he released his second LP, his first album in 30 years, called Vincent LaGuardia Gambini Sings Just For You, which spawned the single Wise Guy, a rap tune that played on the gangster theme by referencing mafia gangsterism. Wise Guy interpolated the 1980 hit Rapture by Blondie, and was co-written and produced by the hip-hop production team The Trackmasters. Vincent LaGuardia Gambini Sings Just For You was an album that was both humorous and serious, exploring a variety of genres, though most of it was big band jazz, and which paid homage to his character name from the 1992 film My Cousin Vinny, not only through its album title, but also by its lead track Yo Cousin Vinny. Pesci is associated with the hit Broadway musical Jersey Boys, which premiered there in 2005. The musical is based on the lives of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. As a friend of the group's Tommy DeVito, he was present during the group's formation as a young man. Pesci is a character in the musical, pivotal for introducing DeVito and Valli to the singer-songwriter who would become a seminal Seasons member, Bob Gaudio. In 1999, Pesci announced his retirement from acting to pursue a musical career and to enjoy life away from the camera. He returned to acting when he did a cameo in De Niro's 2006 film The Good Shepherd. He starred in the 2010 brothel drama Love Ranch, alongside Helen Mirren. Pesci appeared with Don Rickles in a 2011 Snickers advertisement in which he portrays the alter ego of a young man who attends a party and becomes agitated by two women.
In popular culture.
Pesci's tendency to play violent, short-tempered characters, especially in the Scorsese films, was lampooned in a recurring sketch on Saturday Night Live, The Joe Pesci Show, in 1995 and 1996. In the sketches, Pesci, played by Jim Breyer, hosts a talk show with sidekick Robert De Niro, played alternately by Colin Quinn and various guest hosts, which usually ends with Pesci and De Niro beating up the guest with baseball bats due to some perceived slight. The real Pesci and De Niro made a surprise appearance in one sketch, announcing their displeasure with the sketch and then giving the same treatment to Breyer and Quinn. Comedian George Carlin stated in one of his comedy routines that, instead of praying to God, he prays to Joe Pesci, because he looks like a guy who can get things done.
Personal life.
Pesci is single, having been divorced 3 times since his first marriage in 1964. From 1988 to 1992, Pesci was married to Claudia Haro, a model and actress. Haro was found guilty of attempted murder for twice hiring a hitman to kill her then ex-husband and Hollywood stuntman, Garrett Warren. She is serving a 12-year sentence. Pesci was engaged to Angie Everhart in 2007, but the couple broke up in 2008. While filming scenes in two of Martin Scorsese's films, Raging Bull and Casino, Pesci broke the same rib, 15 years apart.
Filmography. Television.